What's up, everyone? Hope you're having a good day. And today we're about to get started back on our Nissan 300ZX convertible twin turbo project. So last video we've kind of just got back into the swing of things after we had some SD card error. Now we're trying to make do with what we can. We just scuffed down this whole rear wheel well. We addressed some of the welds that were done pretty much like this, except way worse. They were sticking out probably that much. Grinded them all down, got it nice and smooth now, so now we can treat and get to recoating this metal to prevent from rust and corrosion. We've still got a little bit up here to take care of. Most of the inner quarter is done, but the upper portion that's hard to reach and is very tough to work on is all that we have left. So today we're actually planning on getting this wheel well coated. And the reason why we want to get it coated so quickly is we've already stripped down this full underside here, but since it's so cold, rainy, and humid outside, the car is completely condensating. All of that bare metal is now wet and exposed to moisture. While we have this well open, we're gonna go ahead, coat everything out before the humidity and everything can really set in there. I'm not worried about the underside. It's not like I see the moisture soaking into the panels per se, but it is alarming and we need to get this taken care of fast. Not only are we trying to get everything back to OEM and nice OEM finish as possible, so you can't tell that this was ever repaired. I didn't know this was repaired, it's just how I bought it. Decided to take this route, and now we're finding out all of the ugly nitty gritties here. So seam sealer and undercoating should cover all of this, and then we've got a couple holes that we still need to take care of. But we're going to document every hole, spot that needs attention. We're going to coat it, and then we'll come back, grind the coating off when we have access to our welder and can actually move the car around, and we will weld these holes up. It looks like our batteries are all charged up, so let's go ahead, get to work. Here's a couple must-haves and safety gear, at least for me. We're going to be using the electric drill this time, since it's all up above me. The angle grinder is very scary to use when it kicks back, and I'm not trying to get hit in the face, because I got to sit in the wheel well too. It's a fairly brisk one out today again. Man, it's rough to even sit out here. Boy, do I love a fresh battery. It actually made some decent work. Now take that times about 45, and that's what we got left to do. My arms are very tired. Inside of the quarter panel's done. Just getting down to the cruddy part. Everything's up from here. Wow. Well, it's been quite some time since I talked to you guys last. We've now got everything stripped down completely to bare metal. The last step we really have here before we wax and grease remove everything is we're just going to go back and try to touch up all the spots that it looks like there's a little bit of epoxy primer. Seam sealer, so far this is the worst part that I couldn't get, so it's a little thick. We may leave it. We may see what we can do about picking that out. It's not a big deal. The biggest reason why I'm doing, getting everything off is since I'm using Pour 15, it coats to bare metal. So we want to get as much bare metal surface contact and adhesion area as possible so we can get this stuff to really work. Once you get it on, it'll seal everything out. I don't know if you really would have to use seam sealer after the fact, but we do it anyways just for peace of mind and just to kind of clean it up a little bit. You really don't want moisture getting into these seams. I did just remember we do kind of got to grind that off first as well. But other than that, between the panel we straightened here on the last video, getting our welds grinded up, I think we're coming along now. So we're actually going to use the air compressor this time. We're going to go take it up to the pole. We're going to air it up, and we're going to use it to blow all the remnants and dust out of here, sweep, and do it a couple of times so we can get rid of everything off the floor, so we don't kick it up when this is wet and when we're trying to coat it, getting in here with a paintbrush and whatnot, because you definitely don't want to get the stuff in your hair. Trust me, it's bad enough to get it off your skin. If you get it in your hair, you're probably screwed. But so far, so good. This is the pile that we've accumulated from stripping all this out. Unfortunately, the air compressor is in the back of my Z, and I don't know what I did with the keys, and that's the only way I can get in the trunk because the lever doesn't work. So I'm at the mercy of that. I just got to wipe this down with a rag and then some wax and grease remover. I don't got nothing special. I bought this years ago. I've had it probably 5 years or something crazy like that. So we're just going to use that and a nice microfiber towel from Harbor Freight and get it all cleaned up so that way the Pour 15 has a nice clean surface to adhere to. You wipe it all down, you get it kind of damp, and eventually the wax and grease remover will dry. I think I'm going to go back over it with a dry rag to kind of knock it all down to kind of dry it up, because it's never going to dry out here. It's just too damp, too humid I should say. The metal's dry, so I think we're all good there in aspects or regards to that. So I'm just going to follow through with this because I'm really just trying to protect it from that humidity, unlike the bottom side of the car that I can see right now is just got drips coming down it. It's so sad after I did all that work. So we got to go back over it all with a wire wheel just to be safe. But for now, I also kind of fold my rag over in half and then over like 2 more times, so pretty much in quarters. So that way I wet one side here and the other side, and then I'll flip it, do it here, and then usually it soaks the rest of the way through the rag, so that way the full rag's ready to be used. And you have a couple dry spots if you need it. If not, just have an extra towel for backup. Now the goal here, like usual, start at the top. You can kind of keep track of where you're at and work your way down. Definitely made sure to do a good job here on the inside lip of the quarter panel. So I'm not going to be able to talk much when I'm putting this stuff on. This is the gloss kind. I'd probably go with the flat kind, so that way it's a little bit more textured so you don't have to sand it down as much if you want to overcoat, or undercoat I should say. But top coat, more or less, if you want to put anything on top of this as a top coat, you need to scuff it down a little bit because it comes out just gloss, like really shiny and nice. Just stirring it a little bit, not exactly stirring it, but clean this off so we can stir it and not contaminate our can. We'll see, I might have to start on the side that doesn't have old Pour 15 on it. Ooh, that's not good. It just blew out everywhere on me. Need to get that off ASAP. But we got this trusty little thing from the dollar store, and we actually picked these up from Harbor Freight instead of the Dollar General. This was actually from the Dollar Tree. But my old brushes I got from Dollar General, the bristles kept falling out and some of them got stuck in the undercoating, so is what it is. But I don't want to try to have that happen again, so we've got these. So we'll crack her open, stir it up for a minute or two, and then we'll dump out a little bit in here and we will get to brushing. We're going to start brushing it up top. We'll focus on the seam here at the top first. Potentially I'll do all this over here first, and then I'll do the back side. And once I have the top side here, the back side done, then I can focus on doing everything just right here in front of me. Just do it so that way you don't work yourself into a corner and get yourself like extra dirty, so to speak, because you don't want to get this stuff on you. It will stain you. Like I said earlier, this stuff will stain you for good. Not sure why it just dipped when I've got a ton of it over here. Just like Bob Ross. Just a little more crude. Well, I think we're nearing the end. I got it all touched up and everything is coated. Everything that matters, at least. Man, oh man, does that look nice. Oh, I love it. I got a little bit too much in some places. I'm trying to get all the bristles out while I'm at it too. Well, looks good. At least for now. Let's go grab some dinner with the family, and we'll be back to give this our second coating here in about 2 hours. Well, it's been a couple days. Let's check out, see what the wheel well looks like now that everything has dried and cured up. It's looking good. A couple spots you can tell where I've touched it. Decided to sweat, but nonetheless, we are fully coated. We have maximum protection. I'm actually super happy with how it came out. Sorry, it's been a couple days. If you can't tell again, shop is a wreck. We've been doing a lot of part outs or a part out, trying to sell a lot of our stuff or parts so we can try to make room. As you can tell, we don't really have any of that right now, so we're trying to fix that. If you need anything, hit me up on Instagram or Facebook. I'll hook you up. But I decided right now, let's go ahead and jump into something so I can get it over with. Something that I've kind of been needing to do for a while. Let's start chopping up the Z and at least cutting off all the good parts, disassembling it the rest of the way, and getting it to where we can get rid of it and get this space back. I wouldn't mind moving the 240 up here to try to keep it at least eyes on the prize, so to speak. But personally, what I'd like to do is get this out of here and move that over, so that way we have a little more room back there, can clean this up a little bit, and, you know, get this huge eyesore out the way. I hate the color of this blue, and as much as I want to fix this thing and make it whole again, it's not practical. For all of you guys that are very, I don't know, trunk isn't terrible. I may see what I can do about salvaging the trunk, see if we can use it in some way. I've been having some weird thoughts that we end up even saving that black car, so who knows, we'll see what kind of rabbit hole we go down. Maybe we'll even like kit it out just so we can put a car together and sell it and just, you know, make like $5,000–6,000 a pier. Who knows? Maybe we'll just dedicate this back half to my slick top. I guess we'll just go ahead and start stripping this down. I want to get literally like every nut and bolt off the thing and begin to make a pile of stuff that's in it. Maybe we'll just go through and literally loosen every single thing that we can and make a pile. Still got quite a bit of stuff like the antenna, rear door lock cylinder, just a couple little things, a couple trims. Actually, let's go ahead and pull these T-tops off, or the T-top seals. These things are absolutely junk. Yeah. Get off of there. Let's take those, throw them away. Ditch that old seal. T-top wind deflectors, broken. Trash. We're done keeping stuff if it's broke. I used to keep stuff just in case if anyone needed it, and I've just been holding on to a bunch of garbage, so let's get rid of it. But I think we are actually going to go ahead and chop the nose off of this thing. Let's go grab the cutting wheel. Now before we start cutting, let's grab all this stuff, all the odds and ends, and do something with all this hardware. Equipment has all been obtained. Now let's get to work. Now I'm not going to be too worried about using a fresh disc off the rip, because I'm going to need the thicker portion to cut through this and the frame rail, and we want to get the guide cut started so we know where to cut when we're inside the wheel well. All right. Now you can see we've got our line all ready to go, so we're just going to keep cutting accordingly. Here on the underside you can see that we know where to cut now as well. And if you're using a cutting wheel or grinding wheel, make sure you use the flat side on a cutting wheel and then put the indented side inwards on a grinding wheel. And ensure you hold it on the bore correctly. Now that we have a full disc, we're going to try to cut this corner out so then we can follow it from the underside. Now that we got that cut, we went ahead and straightened it out a little bit so we could save this subframe mount area right there if that's needed. Now we're going to cut here on this side, and we're going to cut on the inside of the wheel well first, actually last, so that way we don't have to be inside of here when we cut this bottom portion. Now we're down purely to the inside of the wheel well, and we're going to do that last. Right now, let's get a jack so we can lift the frame rail back on this portion, so we can lift the car and not have it kinked, because the weight is being distributed off the block down there at the lower radiator support. Went ahead and finished the cut inside the wheel well. If you can't tell, it's fully loose now. Oh, you threw in that hood cable. Don't be like me. There we go. That was the result we were looking for. A little sliver of metal still. Hey, luckily our hood cable still works. That's what I like to see. Now we've got the jack all maxed out. We're going to try to unhook the e-brake wherever it is. I'm going to try to unhook the two e-brake cables from the center section, and then potentially remove these brake line protectors here. And both of the e-brake cables are completely seized, so I think we're just going to go ahead and chop this in half. Not to mention the brake thing totally rounded that off. No way I'm getting that off. So let's just chuck it all in the bin like we should. Chop chop time. Well, most of the panels should be cut there. Now let's cut from here down to here. Oh, we just hit fuel lines. You can definitely smell it. Whew, it's very hot doing this. Keep fogging up my glasses. Nonetheless, got like one ply of metal in here. There's a little sheet, probably can't see it, but that's what's keeping this together. We got this fully cut. You can tell the whole thing jiggles when you stomp it. So we'll go ahead, do the same thing to the other side, and then hopefully we'll be able to drop the front, lift the rear, or lift it somewhere right here and be able to get access to that inner panel and chop it. A Sawzall would do it easily, but the issue with the Sawzall is if you hit this panel from the inside, you're going to bend the end of your Sawzall blade, and then it's useless. Now, in theory, everything should be cut enough for me to kind of like bend the chassis, cut the line straight here and all the way through on each side. We're missing like 3 panels of metal from it being so rusted, so it actually cut very easy. Let's see if we can get any sort of flex, maybe. Oh, I guess it would probably help if I you know, cut this off. Obviously wasn't thinking there. We're officially kind of separated, at least up top. Keeps getting bigger. And the more we lift it, the more it splits apart. So now we can see top layer's definitely chopped off. May have a little kink or something down here. This side's overlapping, but this has not done anything, so we may need to trim up on that. Still getting hung up. There's like a little chunk right there that I think is kind of our problem. I feel like a fresh blade will help us out significantly. Why won't you just break? Oh, my glasses about fell in the abyss of nasty, dirty water. That was close. Yeah, I figured all my discs fell. Be careful here before I slice my ankle open. Bam! because that would be a terrible ending for my ankle, trust me. Fully disconnected over here. Bend that out the way. Pull that fancy old e-brake out. But we are officially making progress. Now let's lift up over here and jump on that seam. See if we can split it apart. Well, let's just say we forgot this block back here, and it has totally annihilated this lower quarter. This thing was even repaired and it's still all rusted out. Obviously did not do a well enough job. I actually don't want to lift off the rocker over here. It actually looks somewhat savable, like I could sell it or pass it on to someone to save theirs. Well, jumping on it's not helping. Let's see if we can pick the front end up and kind of pull it out and over maybe. There we go. Got her at least separated enough that we can see what needs done here. That black is all from the undercoating right here. The undermat sound deadening that I've been chopping off. It's literally burnt and stained my face. I actually spaced that I used to use this method. You can see where it's cut and about where it's cut to. Now I've got a flathead that I'm going to take. We're just going to hammer that flathead and cut that metal. Cut. Now we kind of bent it up or back, and we're actually going to go for this outer one here. Looks like we're making progress. Maybe we're not. Dang, I'm not making this easy on myself. I'm kicking my butt. On our last GoPro tumble, we scratched our screen. What an L. Now that my side has a scratch going like sweet, but whatever. I think we got this thing about done. Got access to cut a little bit more off. There it goes. The rear is now fully separated. See if we can pull it apart a little bit. Hey, now we've got a 4-seater Z. Just kidding. I mean, that is pretty close to the difference. It's about a 9-inch difference. So, yeah, about a foot difference here. Finally, got everything all done. Still gonna save the glass, don't worry. Still have to call up the glass people to come sort that out. Got a couple more for them to do. At least if they've never removed one from a Z, it'll help them out a little bit because they've removed it off of here. But now we can finally start posting and putting a little more things up. Hopefully make some money. I don't know, I'm debating on swapping some parts out on the drift car and selling it whole instead of parting it out, just because of my current frustration with it. So maybe that's what we'll work on tomorrow. But for now, it's really just a matter of cleaning literally everything up. I've got stuff inside the shop I've got to clean. I've got stuff I got to quote, pack, stuff I got to find boxes for, and stuff I still have to find. So I don't know. I know we didn't get a whole lot done this video. I don't plan on boring you guys with the actual car content of us stripping the bottom anymore. That'll just be some updates here and there, so that way you at least don't have to worry about moderately boring content from here on out. Just a couple updates, because I am beyond fed up with that and over it. Let's get to cleaning up, and we will actually catch you guys in the next one. If you guys like the video, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe down below, as it really helps the channel and helps us to grow. And stay tuned for more Z content. We'll catch you then. Peace.